Okay, welcome back. We're doing some Common Core geometry. I'm looking at lesson 3, example 2 on page 46 of the manual. And it looks like I had to kind of speed things up. I set up a triangle already. Here's A, B, and C. I'm just going to make it look a little better, a little more like theirs. So maybe I'll shrink these down a little bit and move this C over a little bit. And I already have my set square, which I actually copied from example 1 from before. So that's the one we did to construct a parallelogram a few minutes ago. All right, so let's see. We want to use the figure below with a center at O and a scale factor R equal to 2. And the following steps to create a scale drawing using the parallel method. So we'll use our set square and such, but let's go ahead and do a little other calculation here. I usually like to leave my R factor flexible, so I'm just going to go to number, go to new parameter, and call it R instead of the T1, and then want it set at 2. But this leaves me the ability to change it later if I want to do another one. All right, and I'll move my 0.0 over here a little bit. Maybe I'll move the A over here. I think it looks like that in the picture. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw line rays, really. So I'm just going to click on my line tool, select, hold the mouse down, click on the ray tool. I'm going to go O through A, O through B, and C. So I have those rays. Something else I can do then is I know that I want to go ahead and find, say, point A prime first, and I know that it has to be 2 times this OA. So let me just go ahead and measure that segment up too. So I'm going to go ahead and select O and select A. So I have just those 2 points selected. Hopefully I don't have anything else selected. I'm going to measure that distance. And then I'm going to do a calculation. I'm going to go over to the number. Sorry, before I do that, I want to select things. I want to select my dilation factor and my original measurement. And then I'm going to go over to number. I'm going to go to calculate. Now that I have those selected, I can see them in these values. So I'm going to take the R. I'm going to hit the asterisk for multiplication. And I'm going to hit the OA. I could have, if I didn't feel like putting the R in as a parameter, certainly could have just put 2 times OA. That would have worked as well. And it goes ahead and tells me what that distance is. I needed that distance because now I can mark off where A prime is. So I'm just going to go ahead and deselect everything for a second, clicking in white space. I'm going to select O. I will select this new measurement, and I will go ahead and construct a circle with that radius. And I know that the intersection right here, I'm just going to grab the point tool. If I go ahead and mouse over so that both things highlight, I went ahead and found where A prime is. So let me just go ahead and label that up. It comes up as F. I'll just double click with the label tool selected, and I'll just call it A prime. And I'll say OK to that. So that the drawing doesn't get too confusing, I'm just going to go ahead and hide a couple things. So I'm just going to click on this circle. I'm going to click in white space. I don't have anything. Click on the circle. I'm going to go to display. I could right click and hide circle as well, but I like to go to the display menu. All right, so now wherever I move point A to, A prime will follow along and still be double, or whatever I make this R. All right, good. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and grab our set square. So I'm going to grab the set square. Easiest way to move the set square around is by grabbing the interior. That's why we created the interior last time. I'm going to go ahead and try and line it up with this ray. So I'll just move that down. I don't have any tools where I can force it to be on the line. All right, but that looks pretty good. So it looks like I'm on there. Sorry, I actually don't want to do that at all. I want to line it up with AB because I want to be parallel to AB. I don't really care about this ray. So I'm just going to go ahead and reset myself up. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this point, move this down, and I want to line up with this. That's a lot better. So now it looks like I kind of lined up with segment AB. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do that best I can. I'm just going to go ahead and click on, make sure I don't have anything selected, and just click on that set square by itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide that down a little bit until I'm passing through point A. I could cheat a little bit. I can go ahead and click on this point, and I can stretch it out to the right so that I'm only stretching that out to the right. Make sure that I'm passing through that point. Oops. Let me do that. I want to click on this whole square, move that up. And now I should be getting a line that's parallel here. So I could just go ahead and use my segment tool, turn that back on. And I should be drawing that from A along this set square pattern. All the way out until it intersects with this OB line. And if I do that, I'll go ahead and, actually it's already there. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this point labeler, and I'll call this B prime. I'll go ahead and click off of everything, selection arrow, get my set square out of the way. So it looks like I have A prime, B prime. Okay, and finally we'll look for the last point, and I think if I use this segment AC, I can move my set square up there. So I'm just going to click out here, click my set square, sort of line it up with that line. So I'll rotate this one around a little bit if I can. Oh. Can't rotate that one. I'll have to grab from this point. But that's okay, we'll line that up. And so now that we have this lined up, I'm going to go ahead and slide this over to the right using my right mouse arrow. Let me just make sure I have nothing selected. I'll click on it. And so we'll just slide this out to the right until I line up with A prime. And I can cheat a little bit with it. I could extend this straight down if I want to just go ahead and click on that point, or I could probably just move it straight down too. And I want to go ahead and get a line from A prime all the way up to OC, that ray OC. So let's go ahead and draw that segment. I'll start at point A. We'll follow along this line. I could get it exact. I guess I could have drawn a line and found intersections, but since this whole thing is approximate anyway, I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my label tool. I'm going to go ahead and call this C double prime, C prime. And I'll say OK to that. And I'll move it a little bit because it looks like it's not exactly lining up. But again, it's sort of a set square method there. So, all right, I'll click out here so I don't have anything selected. Move our. Oh, I hate when I get that stuff on that point. Well, that point's in the right place, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this segment. I'm going to make a new segment from C prime to A prime. And I'll go from C prime to B prime. And that, and if I move this out of the way, that should make a similar triangle using the parallel method, using the set square, sort of simulating a set square. And if I move these points around, everything should still stay in proportion. I can measure things up to go ahead and prove everything is actually in proportion. Again, it's not going to be exact because we're just kind of lining things up instead of using exact measurements by forcing things to be parallels, perpendiculars. All right, that's about it for this one. We'll be back with another one soon.